we need to think of a new advert for freebets.com.
Get your best betting offers from freebets.com.
Yeah, that'll do.
The following deals are now live.
This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, Forged Irish Stout, freebets.com. Delighted to be joined with Bozy Ennis. Solid display there from Andy Cruz out there, decision win. Yes. Happy with what you saw out there?
Yes, it was a beautiful performance. You know what I mean? We had a guy that did really want to fight. He wanted to run.
I was going to say, how do you navigate around that from a guy who is, difficult? He was difficult to stop out there, difficult to land shots on. So how do you sort of navigate that over 10 rounds to sort of break him down in a sense? Well,
see, I'm glad that he went to 10 rounds anyway. That way, you know what I mean, he get the rounds in. You know what I mean? You see he wasn't tired or nothing like that. You know what I mean? But we would have stopped him if he had to stop running. They said he was the type of guy that put pressure on you, and I saw tapes on him, but he wouldn't put no pressure on Andy. Andy was putting pressure on him to try to make him fight. But sometimes you have guys like that runs around like that and make it difficult for you. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, is it important that Andy shows his ring IQ, especially as he's learning as a pro, to sort of navigate around that? Is it important that, whilst it's good for the knockouts, but it's important to show his IQ and his skill as well?
I like that because he put on a nice display. You know what I mean? To show people that he can box and he can fight inside too.
Andy said about there that he's got a mix of Cuban style, mixed with Philadelphia. Do you feel like he's sort of developing that pro style now and what you're working on in the gym?
Oh, yeah, everything you tell him to do, he listens. He listens to everything. You know what I mean? So, and you see the defense. He was catching shots. He ain't hardly get hit with nothing. You know what I mean?
What would you really like to see him now? Eddie talks about wanting to throw him in the deep end early. We know his amateur career. We know how good he is. Is that something that you would be interested in, throwing him in, maybe the world titles a couple fights away?
See, most important thing is what they say, because they the manager and the promoter. I'm just the teacher. That's all. So what they say, you know what I mean? It's not what I say. It's what they say.
And when you have a fighter like Andy, who is such a special talent and such a special amateur, how do you find it in a coach to sort of develop? What is it like developing a guy from amateur to pro when they were so successful with such a style for so long?
Well, see, you looked at him when he was an amateur, right? Now you see the difference. He catching shots, he moving, and he fighting inside. Before he would just move around and wouldn't, fight in close. You know what I mean? So that's what he's doing now. So he's developing nice and slow.
Absolutely. I did want to sort of move on, talk about Jaron Ennis. Big year for him coming up. Not too sure who he's fighting next. I know Cody Crowley was ordered by the IBF. Ideally, is that the fight I think is next?
Well, the fight really was supposed to be next. Was supposed to be Barrios, and we supposed to fight March the 30th instead of Thurman and Tim Zoo. We were supposed to be the main event on that card, but we found out that Barrios reneged on it and said that his girl is having a baby. But you've been training. We had a fight on the 30th. You know what I mean? Why would you, come up with something like that? You know what I mean? So then all of a sudden, the IBF hit us up and said, we got to defend the title against Coley Crowley. But we already asked to fight Coley Crowley before. They offered him $300,000 to fight. You know what I mean? And he turned it down. So I want to see how this is going to work out now.
Ideally, the name at 147, the top dog would be Terence Crawford. But do you realistically think that fight is not a possibility?
No. He already said that he's not fighting Boots. You know what I mean? So he said Boots is the new 147 pound. You know what I mean? And that's what he said. Boots going to dig it. I'm just going to make some money and get out the game. You know what I mean? Fight Canelo or somebody like that. You know what I mean?
I was going to say that because Tim Bradley made some comments and was sort of criticising the way that Boots was chasing Crawford in a sense. Yeah, exactly. So what did you sort of make of those comments when you saw him?
Well, see, the reason why he said that because when they sparred, Terence Crawford whooped his ass in sparring. You know what I mean? And he been in the ring with Terence Crawford. But you know what I mean? And he like everything Terence Crawford do, he's like on his side. But then Terence Crawford had nerve to tell him off one time too, though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was going to say, is it disappointing? Because as Ennis, as Boots and as a team yourself, you're going to want to chase the toughest guys out there, so there's no reason.
We want the best. We want the best. That's the only time we find out where we're coming from, when you're fighting the best. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, looking now into 2024, for yourself, Andy, and the stable, what can we expect? Big things from the Bozy Ennis stable?
Oh, it's the big things this year. We're looking for 2 or 3 fights this year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, Bozy. Thank you for taking time to speak to me. Appreciate it. And yeah, all the best for the rest of 2024, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you, mate. Cheers.